Hello friends, today I am going to introduce today's keynote speaker, Yoshitsugu Fujiwara. He is a former academician and now an entrepreneur residing in Japan. His specialization is innovation and entrepreneurship. During his career in academics, he was teaching at various premier universities and business schools of Japan. At present, he is serving to Innovo Force LLC as CEO, and he is also COO with Apprend Soft LLC. He is also chairing Practitioners Society for Intangible Assets Commercialization. It is indeed honor for the Vedant Educational Services, Harivandana College and Rajendra Academy to host Yoshitsugu Fujiwara as the keynote speaker. We warmly welcome you, sir. Please deliver us your insightful keynote talk. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Yoshi Fujiwara. Today, I would like to explain the global trend for the innovation methodology. So let me share the slide. Mainly science and technology commercialization, meaning that the process management for this science and technology commercialization kind of things. This is my short introduction. I'm a serial entrepreneur in the US and Japan, and this is my third trial to start my own company in Fukuoka, Kyushu area. And my specialty area is in innovation and entrepreneurship, more specific in business incubation and acceleration, and also the ecosystem. It was called industrial clusters 10 or 20 years ago, but nowadays, even in Japan, it's a kind of buzzword, innovation ecosystem or the startup ecosystem. The purpose of the ecosystem generation or the incubation and acceleration activities is mainly creating jobs and regional development. I also study this kind of things for the case of Silicon Valley or the Austin in Texas. And I learned science and technology commercialization approach in UT Austin IC Square Institute. And my focus is global commercialization because nowadays there are so many incubation center and acceleration programs are already set in Japan, but their focus is mainly in domestic market. But for Japanese perspective, our total population is decreasing. That means that the market size is stable in domestic market. That's why if we would like to expand or achieve sustainable growth, we have to go abroad. That's why my perspective is global commercialization. And I used to work as a faculty member in universities and business schools and graduate school in Japan. In addition to that, I started the study group. It is called Society for Intangible Asset Commercialization. It was established 2011, and last year I decided to expand operation into global arena. Nowadays, total number of members are more than around 1,300 globally. More than half members from overseas, not in Japan. Okay, the next is the references. For today's discussion, I used this kind of information. The basic text is the commercializing new technologies, getting from mind to market. It was written by B.J. Jory. He is from India and graduated from IIT and went to Harvard Business School to get doctoral degree in business school. This book is a little bit old, published in 1997, but still it's really valuable for as a science and technology specialist, commercialization specialist like me. And I went to UT Austin to study science and technology commercialization, and I learned a lot and brought that contents into Japan. I taught that science and technology commercialization course in Waseda University from 2010 to 2015. And also I studied in 2009 the study group called Science and Technology and Intellectual Property Right Commercialization Study Group. And with other professors in Osaka University and Kyushu University, we all taught how to commercialize new technology in Osaka University and Kyushu University and Waseda universities. And another contents, as valuable contents, is from Silicon Valley. Steve Blank and Eric Ries, nowadays very famous in the United States, they started the Lean Startup movement and also the Lean LaunchPad program. We will refer to later. So in order to sustainable growth and also doing the research continuously, the scientists or the engineers need money to do so. But in order to do that, they have to do some activities with industry sector, but it's really difficult. Why? Why it's so difficult? There are several reasons. This is the process from science discovery to the business commercialization activities. So invention as from the scientist and making use of this technology to the product, and then adding some features or the additional the solution to make whole product. And if it was successful, in order to achieve sustainable growth, they have to add some activities. But there are so many obstacles or barriers from scientific discovery to the sustainable growth, like Devil River, Valley of Death or Death Valley, and Chasm or the Darwinian Sea, and Innovator Dilemma. Probably some of you are familiar with some word. It's a very big barriers. Many people are familiar with this kind of difficulties, but in addition to that, if you doing the create new kind of product in one corporation, it's not so difficult because people already at the market is already known and needs and the solution is easy to imagine. But for the based on this scientific discovery and commercialize it, the kind of activity is very difficult because it takes a long time. So adding the long time creates uncertainty. So that's why, in addition to these big barriers, there are so many obstacles and uncertainties set in. This is the written by the B.J. Joly's model, Technology Commercialization Process Model. And this explains the general process of the science and technology commercialization. In this chart, far left side means that the scientists' activities field, and right side means the marketing activities, meaning that there are so many end users or the other business players. So Joly described this activity 5 sub-processes: imagine, incubate, demonstrate, promote, sustain. Each of it's explained that the imagine means that getting some idea for the product or the solution, and incubate to create the business model or forming the business team, and demonstrating means that creating a product or the solution or service, and promote is marketing activities. And then if the product is successful, in order to do the business continuously, they have to add value to create some other business activities. That means sustain. And each cycle means that there are own value or the purpose, and each cycle has their own stakeholders. That means that the stakeholders, each stage's stakeholder is continuously changing. That makes technology commercialization process is really difficult to deal with. For example, this is a financial perspective. So each sub-process needs a different kind of money. For example, emerging stages, they need the seed money or the governmental grant. But for the right side, sustainable stage, they usually use bank loan or the retained earnings from the business operation. So if you don't understand this meaning, business get stuck because wrong money makes to do business so difficult. So nowadays in the United States, there are so many trial and error. There are two main distinctive approaches to method for technology commercialization. The first one is mainly developed in the UT Austin Science and Technology Commercialization process. And another is Lean LaunchPad. It is developed by the Steve Blank and Eric Ries. I'm going to explain step by step. The first one is UT Austin method, Science and Technology Commercialization Process Management. The upper half is Joly's model. And in this chart, far right side, sustainable growth and strategy and business plan. It can be taught in usual existing business schools in the world, not only in the United States, but also the other countries. But before that stages, meaning from emerging stages to the probably the demonstrate or promote stage, there is no distinctive approaches. Maybe 20 years ago or something like that. That fact make the technology commercialization really difficult because it's a trial and error stages. That's why IC Square methodology, UT Austin methodology, and the Steve Blank Lean LaunchPad approach will become a solution. This is the last 20 years trend. So main strengths of the UT Austin model, science and technology commercialization process, is a technology assessment. And the business model generation and customer development model is almost same as Lean Launchpad model developed by Steve Blank. So what is Quicklook? It's a technology assessment methodology. It was born in NASA Technology Transfer Center in Texas, and then it was established in IC Square Institute of IT Square at UT Austin. And in the IC Square Institute, there was a business unit called Global Commercialization Group. It was providing the consulting service and training service for global perspective. Like the Tech Bar, it's mainly activated in Mexico and South Korea and India or Turkey or any other more than 30 countries in the world to make use of the Quicklook technology assessment methodology in order to do the technology commercialization globally. And also Quicklook is taught in the Master of Science in Technology Commercialization program at UT Austin and other universities like Boston University, the Technology Development Office, or in Japan, Waseda University and Osaka University and Kyushu University. Here is the example of output of Quicklook report. If you are interested in, please check it out. And why technology assessment methods matter? This is the recently trend called Open Innovation Movement. Maybe more than 20 years ago, large corporations tend to do everything within one company. It is called closed paradigm. So they have the central research institute within a corporation and creating the new findings and then commercialize it. That's the old trend. But nowadays, things is changes because of the globalization and the intense competition with the not only in the domestic companies but also the from the overseas competitors. They have to find the opportunity not only within company but also the other players like universities, and also global perspective is needed. That's why they have to find very quickly which opportunity or which technology is worthwhile to pursue. That's why technology assessment method is a very important, increasingly important nowadays. It is taught in the Master of Science in Technology Commercialization in Redmarco Business School at UT Austin. This is a link to the Redmarco Business School UT Austin MSTC program. And also UT Austin Portugal program. It's a national project in Portuguese government with UT Austin, and not only UT Austin, but also the University of Texas system. And sometimes with collaboration with the MIT or the Carnegie Mellon University. It started from 2007 and continuously to do this kind of program until 2030. It's a huge project. Budget is more than $10 million, I guess. So for the science and technology commercialization perspective, within this program, there are two main activities related to the science and technology commercialization is TIE and U10. It's a technology innovation and entrepreneurship is how to pick up which technology, meaning that doing the technology assessment and forming the startup and commercialize it. It's a TIE. And also creating like the ecosystem, university technology enterprise network, meaning that connecting to the entrepreneurs and the scientists and other universities or the other corporations like ecosystem. It's quite interesting. So if you are interested in, please visit these sites. And another approach is Lean LaunchPad and ICOPS, Innovation Corps. So upper half is the Jody's model, and Lean LaunchPad consists of the 4 steps: customer discovery, customer validation, customer creation, company building. This is a new part. So right first side is covered by the usually existing MBA program, but until that phase, we need how to proceed new startup based on the science or the engineering development. This is the same thing, customer development model. It's core part of the Lean LaunchPad program. And Steve Lang taught Lean LaunchPad since 2006 or 7. This is linked to the curriculum for the Stanford program. And also Steve Lang is providing the blog posting related to the Lean LaunchPad activities. And also National Science Foundation of the United States, in order to generate a lot of startups based on the scientific discovery, National Science Foundation asked Steve Jobs to help to do this kind of process successfully. And that's why Steve Blank decided to start Innovation Corporation, ICOPS program nationwide. More than 80, around 90 universities get involved in the United States. Also, in Japan, several universities decided to make use of this approach developed by the Steve Blank. And nowadays, other national agencies like the Department of Defense or the National Health Institute decided to make use of the Steve Blank approach to commercialize their findings or the discovery. That's the contents I would like to explain today. So in our society and my company would like to provide this kind of contents. I mean the science and technology commercialization process management, and also the Lean LaunchPad style activities for the education or workshop or the consulting activities. If you would like to collaborate with us, please let us know. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for your meaningful and wonderful talk. The participants are really benefited with your today's session. On the behalf of the entire organizing committee, I showcase the gratitude and gratefulness towards your concern, time, and the discussions. Thank you, sir.